What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be doing a blade swap on the Novah Clippers and the trimmers. You can see I actually customized mine, but you see these, they were black, but I have to customize everything I touch. We're going to do the clippers first. I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but I've been busy. The clippers are a lot more straightforward. You just take the top blade off. Hope you like this camera angle, it took me a while to get it. Take the cutting blade off. Oh, guess we should talk about the blades. This is the Foxsonic, it's a Stagger tooth blade, ceramic blade. It fits on there just fine. And you want to oil your clippers as well. Get you a little bit of oil. And just put a couple drops on there. Nothing crazy. Then you go with your Stylecraft Faper blade. Any sort of wall blade, gamma blade, Stylecraft blade, the Babeless blades, like the JRL blades, all of those blades will fit on here. But I chose the Faper blade because I only have one clipper. From here you want to zero gap it, of course. What I like to do is push it all the way up, tighten the screws all the way, because this gives me a better understanding of how gapped these are. Then you loosen them a little bit. Then you can push the blades how far back you want them. That looks good to me. Flip it back around, tighten both the screws. If you've noticed, I actually have my clippers. I did a stretch bracket mod, but I had to make my own. I'll actually show you guys. I removed the clicks and I made a stretch bracket with the Dremel, so you can see this opens up quite a bit more. But I might make a video on how to do that if I get another pair of clippers, but for now I'm not going to be doing a video because I don't have a bracket or a clipper to show you it on. Let me just make sure this is how I want it. I'm going to be doing a self-cut with these two. Looks good to me. Let's move all this out the way. And these blades are fine, but they're not the best. Hit my ring light. For the trimmer, you just take these back blades off. For that, let's talk about the blades. Right here we have the Stylecraft Xpro wide blade. I got it in black to match the Faper blade. And this is the Stylecraft, the one blade, again in black. I think it only comes in black. So again, we just unscrew these. And the trimmer, people say it's hard, but I disagree. It's hard at first, but once you do it enough times, it's really not that hard. Alright, so you're going to have all these pieces. I took the screw out that was in here because I won't be needing it. Well, you can't use it, but unscrew these bottom screws and this is a very important step. You just want to keep this. You need this for the other blade, so I'll set that off to the side. You don't need any of these. Put that over there. You need the screws, so set those off to the side. You don't need that blade. And we'll bring all this back into the frame. Alright, so what we have here is from the trimmer blade. You want to keep both the screws. It's like a spring, a wire. This is like the bracket. This is the bottom cam follower for the cutting blade. And if you noticed, I cut off, there's little bumps here and I cut them off. And the reason I want to cut those off is so the other blade will fit on. And then this little metal piece. Now we're going to open out both the blades. And guys, these blades aren't cheap. You don't have to do this mod if you can't afford it. It's like $70 in blades, but it's worth it. So if you can do it, do it. Now let's get started on this cutting blade. I'm gonna put this little thing. Oh, I took the screws off of these too, just to make the video go a little bit faster. You take the screws off of this, and then you take the cam follower from the other one. It's really simple, guys. You want to screw this in. You have to drop the screw a couple times just to make sure it's really going to screw in there. So make sure you drop it at least 3 times. And you screw on the other side. And we're not going to screw this in all the way until we get the other side on. And then we can screw this side in all the way. And screw this side in all the way. Alright. It's time to assemble this. So what I like to do is I like to set the blade on there. I'm gonna oil this too, a couple drops. Set the blade on there. Don't worry about it being zero gapped right now. And then set the screws in the bottom. Then you're gonna set this little piece on top and kind of get it in there, you know. It's kind of hard, but just get the screws in there. See how both the screws are in there? Now we take the spring and just set it on there. Don't worry about it being on the cam follower right now. And you want to hold it right here. Then you take the trimmer, set it on top of all this, and allow the screws to kind of get pushed up. Just set it on top, flip it over, screw it in. Oh, I'll show you guys me screwing it in. And now that it's semi-screwed in, you just kind of want to make sure you want to take your finger and kind of push upwards. So push upwards and screw it in all the way. And that'll just make sure that it's on there correctly. And then from here, see these bottom screws, you can just kind of take your screwdriver, or for the spring, and you can move the wire onto there. And now to zero gap it, you just slightly loosen these bottom screws and you push downwards. It's kind of hard to show you on camera, but you just zero gap it from here. And with these blades you can get them really close, but I wouldn't all the way zero gap them. So I have it how I like it, which is basically zero gapped, but just a little bit of the top blade showing. Tighten this all the way. Then you want to test it. You test it on your hand. Push down. It feels fine to me. So now we have both the blades on there. Alright, so let's talk blades real quick. For the trimmer, the only two blades I know of that fit on here are this Xpro blade, any one of the Xpro blades, basically all the Stylecraft blades except for the one that goes on the Ace. So any Stylecraft trimmer blade except for the one that goes on the Ace. And then the Caliper Stinger 22 blade fits on here. I haven't tried any other blades because I don't have any other blades, but if you have like maybe the Babeless blade, any other sort of blade, and you have this trimmer, try to put it on there with the method that I used, or maybe a different method, and see if it fits, because that would be helpful for me and everyone else. And for the trimmer, literally any blade combination. I know people like the wall blades or the Babeless or whatever. I'm a fan of the Faper blade. It's very good if you only have one clipper, because you can see it's a mix between the taper and the fade blade. And with it zero gapped, it's going to get any line out. And for the cutting blade, I went with the Stagger tooth Foxsonic ceramic blade, and I just wanted something a little quieter, and the ceramic blade and the Stagger tooth obviously is going to help cut through the hair a lot quicker. That's it for the mod, but I just want to talk about these clippers real quick. As you can see, that I did a paint job on them and they look pretty cool. I have some acrylic paint at the very bottom, and then it's a layer of epoxy, and then over the epoxy you want to sand that down and then do like 3 or 4 coats of clear coat, and then after you clear coat it, you sand down the clear coat a little bit just so it's not so shiny. Just want to talk about the mod. And then this grip is actually like a shelf liner. You can buy them at like the dollar store. I just Mod Podged a shelf liner on here. It's actually a pretty solid grip. And I've been using these clippers for roughly like 8 months, and I have no complaints. My only complaint is this button and this like little slide lever. I'd like to see a button on here, because if your hands ever get greasy, you're probably not going to be able to turn it on. But other than that, they're pretty good clippers after swapping the blade. The trimmer's amazing. This fades like butter. I bought a 10,000 RPM motor, so my next video on these will be swapping out the motor. Obviously I have to solder that in, but that'll be for the next video. I haven't found a motor replacement for the trimmer yet, but I'm looking, and I'll hopefully be able to include one in that video. Other than that, I'm going to show you guys a little demonstration of self-cut with these, and that'll be the end of this video. Open it up a little bit. Open it up a little more. Open it all the way.